time is running out.
Who are you really?
You are what the role requires you to be.
This is a dangerous game.
That's just the sort of game I like.
I am fantastic, Eddie, because you are one of my favorite actors, and this is the first time we've met. So I'm just thrilled beyond belief. So thank you for joining me this morning.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you very much.
I mean, I remember you in one of my favorite comedies, The Man Who Knew Too Little.
Yes. Well,
And
I mugged Bill Murray.
you know Bill Murray. I have the poster hanging in my hallway. I have it signed by the director and by Al Molina. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so someday when I meet you, you got to sign my poster because that's
I'll
one of my
sign the
favorite.
poster. Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining me today to talk about Franklin streaming on Apple TV Plus. How do you approach playing John Adams?
Well, the first thing I did was I worked out what the function of the character was within a drama. And then once you work out what the function is, you hide the function. So people don't realize it. You kind of make it subconscious. And when I was writing, I realized that Benjamin Franklin was a libertarian, and I realized that the function of Franklin was to be a Puritan. They're the two aspects of the American psyche, you know, and the part of their relationship is that they get the job done, even though they're polar opposites, which is a very good metaphor for the state of America at the moment in this year of the election, I think.
And tell me about finding John Adams's voice. I mean, it's a unique voice you use for the character.
Well, it was very interesting. I worked. I tried. I worked. I wanted the point of reference was Michael, because Michael was doing an American accent. There was a choice to do an English accent because they would have spoken in an almost an English accent, but because Michael was speaking in a kind of standard American accent, and he'd come from America, I realized that John Adams had to sound similar to him. But the language that John Adams used, the semantics, he was so articulate. He was a lawyer, so I loved using that language. I mean, I played Terry Donovan for 9 years on Ray Donovan, and he was so inarticulate. I mean, he'd say 2 words and then punch someone, you know.
Yes.
And to play and to be given the license to use language, the language of John Adams, to me was a gift as an actor. I realized it was and the banter between Franklin and Adams in the film, they're like the odd couple. They bicker all the time. It was a
Yes.
joy to do. It was like playing in a band with Michael Douglas, really.
Well, is it strange for an Englishman to be playing one of America's founding fathers, though?
It is. I mean, it's a great honor to be asked to play, really. I was going to play, I did sign to play John Adams 15 years ago, but then they gave the part to Paul Giamatti, who's a very good friend of mine, I have to say, and Paul won the Emmy, and he was a brilliant, and he's a brilliant. I don't know what happened to him. His career went downhill from then. But then Kirk Ellis sent me an email and said, "Would you play John Adams now for me opposite Michael Douglas?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, okay. Just don't tell Paul Giamatti."
Don't tell Paul.
Yeah.
Well, Eddie, the costumes, the sets, is it easy for an actor to get in character for a role like this?
It is. It's not easy acting with Michael Douglas. I've got to admit, because no matter, I'm a very disciplined actor. I'm always in character. I keep the voice going. I keep the physicality. But every time I was doing a scene with Michael Douglas, part of me would go, "Oh my God, it's Michael Douglas." You suddenly pinch yourself that you're working with Hollywood royalty. And he was so brilliant, so generous, so supportive.
Yeah, he was one of my first interviews when I started this over 25 years ago, and I was starstruck. I was sitting across from him, and I'm just like, this is Michael Douglas. So, I mean, preparing to do scenes one-on-one with him, were you nervous or?
No, in a sense, not, because first of all, because what the quality that Michael has on screen is when you look into his eyes as an audience member, he kind of draws you in with his eyes, and as an actor, you use that to your advantage. So you get drawn into the character of Benjamin Franklin. So all your thoughts about Franklin, all Adam's prejudices and hang-ups about Franklin were easy to project onto Michael because he's kind of seducing you with his look anyway, you know.
And I remember
he's such a great actor.
And he puts you at ease. That's what I remember about him too. He was so welcoming.
And he takes the responsibility to put you at ease. That's what you have to remember. It's not, he knows that you're walking in a room, and he knows he's Michael Douglas. He knows the weight that brings. And what he does, he goes out of his way to dissipate that, to make it not an issue, which is one of the most generous things somebody in that position can do.
Well, as comedian Eddie Izzard would say, you're from Europe where the history comes from. So as an American watching this show, the locations were just stunning. We have nothing like that in America. So tell me about shooting this show around these incredible locations.
Oh, we shot on the in the Palace of Versailles. But one of the amazing things is when they finally signed the Treaty of Paris, they brought over the actual desk it was signed on. They brought it over from Washington.
No way.
He actually signed it on the desk. And me, a typical actor, I walked on set with a coffee and nearly put my coffee down. So okay, run lines and put my hair to stop me put my coffee on. I didn't realize.
Hey, you are John Adams. It's your desk, right?
Yeah, it's my desk. I do what I want.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm a big history buff. That's an amazing fact. I love that.
Yeah, it was beautiful desk. Beautiful.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, Eddie, finally today, are we going to have a new Sherlock Holmes movie coming soon? I mean, you're just fantastic in that too.
I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to do with that. I don't know. I keep hearing rumors and then they go away and then they come back and they go away. I don't know. People seem to be wanting it, but the powers that be, it's above my pay grade.
Well, we'll just hope, we'll cross our fingers. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Well, Eddie, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a total thrill. You're brilliant in Franklin, and let's do it again soon, my friend. Thank you so much.
Kind. Thank you very much. Thank you.